What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Bucs Latest on the Fan Arch Network. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for Bucs Nation, go Bucs fans, it's your time. Remember, like and subscribe to Bucs Latest on the Fan Arch Network. So let's jump into it. And the rumors, once again, suggesting Trey Hendrickson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were just speculating yesterday. This from Adam Schefter, who was on Barstool Sports co-hosting. He had this to say about Hendrickson. He said, I think that he would love to be in Tampa. I'm not just saying that. I think he would love to be in Tampa. He lives in Point Verde. I don't think the Jaguars have the cap room for him. Tampa would be a great fit. I think in a perfect world, Trey would like to stay in Florida if he could. No state income tax, but he also is open to going to the best possible situation. If Trey has his pick, I think he'd like to end up with the Bucs, but we will see if it all works out that way. That was from Adam Schefter. Well, we put this out there yesterday, Bucs fans. Would you like to see the first call that Jason Light and the administration there makes on the legal tampering Monday at noon to Hendrickson? He's 31 years old, coming off a down year, 4.5 sacks, had a core injury, but the 2 years before that, 2 straight 17.5 sack seasons, a double-digit sack artist. Would definitely, in my opinion, solidify that defensive line, help them out, help players out like a Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Kancey, Vita Vea, even David Walker, who didn't get a chance to play last year. And think about it. Even if you do end up with Hendrickson in free agency, you pay him $20 to $25 million or more, you could always draft somebody at 15 and just think about the benefits or the advantages, if you will, for that young pass rusher at 15. They get a chance to learn under a consummate professional like Hendrickson, who, listen, besides that injury, double-digit sacks have been his thing. Last year, to me, that was an anomaly. He hasn't, 2018 was the last time he didn't have double-digit sacks, and I threw it out there. Not only would he solidify that defensive line, and yeah, he's going to come at a price, of course, but also, most likely, you convince Mike Evans to come back. You convince Levante David to come back. And on top of that, he gets to play against his former team and the Saints and terrorize them twice a year. It makes lots of sense, and you kind of wonder where Schefter is getting this information. We always talk about it, the combine, back channels. Did Hendrickson's agent go to him? Did Hendrickson himself? You kind of just wonder where this is coming from and if this will be the first call that Jason Light and the administration makes on the legal tampering Monday there at noon. So what do you think, Bucs fans? Go Bucs Nation. Should the Bucs go out and sign Trey Hendrickson? Do you feel more optimistic after hearing this report from Adam Schefter that Hendrickson likes the Bucs? This is music to my ears at this point. Put the comments in the box on Bucs Latest on the Fan Arch Network. Now, we just got done talking about Mike Evans. I know there's some people out there getting Mike Evans fatigue. It's drama. It's a soap opera at this point. The saga is almost over, of course. And this was mentioned by Pewter Report. Just spoke with Mike Evans' agent, Derek Gilmore, who said last week's meeting with the Bucs went well, and that Mike loves Tampa, always has and always will. Now, this goes back to Bruce Arians, the senior administrator there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, senior advisor, if I can look for that word, saying the same thing. Tampa loves Mike. Mike loves Tampa. He expects it. He expects the organization to come together and get it taken care of. Well, this is what the agent had to say. Now, Gilmore, Mike Evans' agent, told Pewter Report that new Buccaneers OC Zach Robinson has reached out to Evans to discuss his scheme fit. So I'll ask you this. Why would Robinson do that? Unless in the background here, this looks like we could have a deal before the legal tampering period starts. I expect them to talk again. I expect the rumors to be hot and heavy this weekend because, again, legal tampering is on Monday at noon. But also, I think it's first right of refusal. As I've said before, where, Mike gets an offer from a team, comes back to Jason Light, and the organization says, can you match that? They match it, and most likely he finishes his career in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform. He retires as a Buc, just like Rondé Barber and Derek Brooks. One team, that's what it seems like to me. Now, the same thing could be said by Peter Schrager of ESPN. He says, I don't think enough is made of the relationship he has with the Bucs front office as a family man and as a person. That was the first pick Jason Light ever made, Mike Evans. If he was ever going to leave Tampa, it would have to be with one of those contenders like the Patriots or the Bills. He was also talking and responding to the panelists there and retired defensive back Jason McCourty, talking about the Bills and the Patriots needing to add one big offensive piece. Schrager says, chimed in sarcastically and visibly scoffed at the suggestion Evans would play for the Bills. He lives in Tampa. He lives in the offseason in Houston, and now you're going to Buffalo? Makes lots of sense. So Schrager right there. We heard from Matt Berry of NBC Sports saying he thinks Evans is gone. We heard from Schrager now from ESPN saying he thinks Mike resigns because of what? The relationship between Jason Light, Mike Evans, and the organization is so tight. And again, if he was going to sign with somebody, it would be one of those contenders. And who knows? Who knows what Mike is looking for? I think Mike is looking for this team to be a contender. Show them. You get a Trey Hendrickson. Do you think Mike Evans changes his mind? Absolutely. We heard this last week from his agent saying if the Bucs got Max Crosby, Evans would definitely have to think about it. And then once again, you get Levante David possibly back for one more year. So once again, the Mike Evans rumors are going fast and furious. Lots of them are out there right now. What do you think? Do you think this gets done before the legal tampering period? Do you want to see it get done, or do you want the Bucs to let Mike Evans walk? I've heard some fans out there. I don't understand that, but listen, I get it. It's the money situation. How much is he going to want? I'm not a capologist. I don't know how much Mike wants. I let those guys deal with it. I'm barely good enough to deal with my checkbook alone. So let the guys do what they need to do. Let Jason Light and the administration cook over there. Put the comments in the box here on Bucs Latest on the Fan Arch Network. Now let's move on. As the Bucs late on Wednesday night, we're making some moves there. The surprising move, the Buccaneers will not tender restricted free agent Sean Tucker. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reports. Tucker, 24, instead will become a free agent. He served as the team's third back behind Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. We talked about White. I think he's burned his bridge. I don't think he comes back. I think he goes out there and seeks free agency. Of course, Irving coming off season shoulder surgery. Now, Tucker played a career-high 177 snaps on offense last season, getting 94 touches for 354 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's definitely a goal line player, especially for you fantasy football players out there. Definitely productive. Now, in 3 seasons with the Bucs, Tucker played 45 games and totaled 151 carries for 651 yards and 9 touchdowns, along with 19 catches for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. Listen, you heard from Tucker or heard from the people around Tucker, especially, once again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how much they liked him, they liked his potential, and now it certainly seems like they've kind of soured on him because they could have, tendered him and kept him in the fold and signed him to some type of option, and instead they've allowed him to go out there in free agency and seek other offers. So my prediction is they've got a bigger plan. And I'll throw it out there right now, Bucs fans. I think they're going after Tyler Algier, the former running back from the Atlanta Falcons. If he doesn't get starting money, expect him to be in red and pewter in 2026 because he knows Zach Robinson's offense. He's a good change of pace back, and he may also feel like he has an opportunity to start for this team because Irving and his injury history. Plus, he can pass protect, catch the ball in the backfield. And once again, the main advantage, he knows Robinson's system. So, Bucs moved on from Tucker at this point. What do you think about my prediction? Would you like to see Tyler Algier in a Bucs uniform? Put the comments in the box here on Bucs Latest on the Fan Arch Network. No Sean Tucker. How surprised are you by that? Yay or nay on Tucker? Do you think he gets big-time money, or do you think eventually he'll work his way back to the Bucs? just thinking about it, if he goes out there and doesn't necessarily get the offer he wants, maybe he does re-sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Bucs once again just reset with Irving, Algier, and drafting a guy in the later rounds in the draft, because you can get running backs. Look at Tucker. He was an undrafted guy. Look at Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a 7th-round guy. So at the end of the day, it's easy to find a running back, but Tucker has lots of potential. I hate to see him go somewhere else, but it certainly seems like he's going to get that opportunity to test out free agency next week. So the Bucs not only did that, but they also picked up, surprisingly, the option of Riley Dixon, which prevents him from becoming a free agent. Dixon, 32 years old, signed a 2-year, $6 million contract with the Buccaneers before the 2025 season and will be paid approximately $3 million in 2026. Now, Dixon had 2 punts blocked in the first 4 games of the regular season and was one of the NFL's worst punters. He finished 29th in the NFL at 44.7 yards per punt. In fact, Greg Auman in February 24th, wrote that Bulls said the team hasn't decided that they were going to exercise the option on punter Riley Dixon. Of course, they decided to do that. Now, Dixon ranked 31 out of 35 punters in the average of 2025 and 28th in net punting. It has to get better. You know, one of the 3 facets of the Bucs, offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams especially struggled last year when it came down to Dixon. Now, one thing you would have to consider is Danny Smith, the new offensive coordinator they hired from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did he have something to say about this? Did he check off? Did they decide to give Dixon another opportunity? Also, in his career, according to Auman of Fox Sports, he entered 2025 as the NFL's active leader with 7 blocked punts. That's 1 every 95 punts for his career. Again, the 2 punts in 16 or 2 blocks in 16 punts. The rest of the NFL has 2 in 429 opportunities. Bulls talked about this last season where Dixon could speed up his process a little bit. Also, Dixon led the NFL in total punts in 89. You never want to have that happen. That's when you know the Bucs offense struggled in 2025. Total punt yardage, 4,068. So there you go. Dixon is his option is picked up. Surprisingly, Christian Izien, as we've had him on this show, mispronounce his name, has 111 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles since 2023. Was not tendered a restricted free agent, being, of course, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A safety can do it all. There is a case, though, that they may not necessarily, and they put this out there, in the case of Izien, the hiccup causing Tampa Bay's hesitancy to tender him may be due to another rule in the NFL's restricted free agent system. The lowest level restricted free agent tender, aka the right of first refusal, places a price tag on the player's salary, which many in league franchises find prohibitive for a depth player. He's a depth player, but he's been a good player, and once again, one of those guys that Jason Light has found as an undrafted free agent. For Izien, the lowest tendered placed on him per the RFA system protocol would reportedly be around $3.52 million. So it remains to be seen. He'll get an opportunity to test free agency. Maybe he comes back at a lower rate because he's very valuable. Once again, to that Todd Bowles defense. Knowing that Todd Bowles defense, you always need depth pieces, especially when you have injuries in the National Football League. So how surprised are you by Riley Dixon and his option being picked up? Is it the right move? Izien, his option not being picked up. And of course, again, going back to Sean Tucker, Bucs making moves here on Bucs Latest on the Fan Arts Network. We'll wrap it up right there. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for Go Bucs fans and Bucs Nation, it's your time. We'll see you next time on Bucs Latest on the Fan Arts Network. And as we always say on this show, to end it off, Go Bucs.